Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we get to talk about On the Rocks, and this is published by 25th Century Games and Pentree Games, and this is designed by Michael and Christina Pentree.
All right, you guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see all our videos as soon as they come out. You'll be the first to know.
Yay!
All right, talking about On the Rocks. Whenever I order like a completely normal beverage, like a glass of water or like a root beer, I'll be like, and then put that on the rocks. And the waiter's like, okay.
So, two things. Ryan never goes like this. Don't worry, he's not that guy. And second, we don't go out that much.
Thankfully. So that way I don't have to say that often. I like to take a tea on the rocks. Like, you mean the iced tea? No, a tea on the rocks.
Oh my gosh. They bring out like the steamy beverage with like piles of rocks in it. Like, gotcha what you wanted.
All right, this is now what this game is about. This game is about mixology, however. You are basically mixing all these different drinks. You get a chance to use these marbles as ingredients. The game looks fantastic on the table. Let me show you how it plays. All right, here is our setup for On the Rocks. So what's going to happen is each player is going to have their own player board that looks like this. Has all these different spots for all these different drinks. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be drafting these marble ingredients from these different dishes and putting them onto our drinks. When you complete a drink, you're going to get a tip. Something bad happens, so there's some spill marbles. You might have to spill some ingredients out of your drink. Ultimately, you're trying to complete 3 orders of drinks. You have a deck for each color of drink like this. But ultimately what's going to happen is you can choose either 3 or 4 different drinks to put out there. So let's say this time around we chose one of each for our order this time. And you can see there's some pretty complex ones. Like this highball requires 2 red, 2 white, 2 yellow, a green, and a blue to make that Shirley Temple. On the first player's turn, what they're going to do is they're going to roll some dice. These super nice clear dice look like ice. All right, and whatever the number is, they're going to draft that many marbles out of this bag here. You're going to put them in any order you wish, going around in a circle. Obviously, put a little more thought into it than that. But then you're going to take any one of those dishes, you're going to empty it out, and you're going to use those ingredients to fulfill for your drinks. Let's say we take this dish here, we put it here in this kind of recessed board area, and then we can start kind of putting ingredients on our drinks, matching up the marbles to the colors. Maybe we do something like that. And then it's the next player's turn. So what's going to happen is they're going to once again roll those dice. They're going to place that many marbles into the dishes. This time they're going to start with the empty one. Whatever the empty one is, that's where they're going to start. Again, go around clockwise, filling in those dishes from there. Once you complete a drink, let's say maybe this martini we were able to finish. We put it over here on the side of our board. We draw one of these tip cards. There's a ton of these different tip cards. This one says shake it up. You can redraft ingredients. You can select a bowl, one of these dishes out here, and what you can do is you can empty it out and draft the same amount of ingredients at random. So maybe there's some ingredients in there you don't like, or you're hunting for a red ingredient or whatever. This is a good way to kind of refresh a dish and start over again. However, if by the end of the game you haven't used it, it's worth this many victory points at the end of the game. So that's a nice way to kind of get some victory points as well. So these you can hang over. There's a little tip spot on the board over here. I didn't leave myself enough room, but there's a little spot for tips over here as well. There are some specialty marbles I want to talk about. We've got a clear marble here. A clear marble can count as any ingredient. So when you draft that, you can place it as any one of the colors. There's also a gold marble. This is called a premium marble. What you can do with that one is you can cash this in, basically put it on this little spot on the board, and then go dig into the bag for any 2 ingredients that you want. So that's really nice. And then once this little row of gold ones fills up, you pick all of them, you put them back in the bag so that way you can have more premium marbles. Then there's also a spill marble. If you ever have it, take a dish that has one of these black spill marbles in it. Once again, it was there. But what you have to do is you have to draw one of these spill cards. These are usually bad things. This one says, remove all yellow ingredients from any one drink. So if we had that to us, we'd have to take this yellow one, put that back in the bag to show that we've spilled our drink. Once again, if all those black spots up there are filled up, then we take all the black marbles, put them back in the bag so that way more spills can happen. Over the course of the round, you're going to keep on finishing off drinks. Every time you finish off a drink, you put it over here in the complete pile. You also draw tip cards based off of that. And again, there's a ton of different variety in those tip cards, as well as those spill cards. Lots of crazy things can happen. But also, let's say once you finish the entire order, you're going to take one of those lemon slices there, show that you've now completed that order. And then once again, you're going to draft either 3 or 4 drinks. Has to be one of each color. And you're going to put them out there. The choice of whether to choose 3 or 4 drinks comes into play here because you really want to, maximize your points, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a race going on. At some point, someone's going to complete their second order, and then eventually they're going to complete their third order. At that point, they call last call. Once the last call has been triggered, everybody else has one more turn to finish all the drinks they have in front of them. So maybe you went with a really, slow route, trying to put 4 cards out there each time. You get a lot of points from each of those cards. However, maybe in that last round, you won't have enough ingredients to finish them all. Or the opposite, you went with a really fast route, trying to get to make your last call happen right away, but you keep on getting stopped by the different spills. So there's just a strategy to choosing either 3 or 4 cards each round. And also, the first person to call first round, based off the number of players, is going to take one of these tokens. So if you're playing in a 4-player game, whoever calls last call first gets the 5-point token. There's also a 3-point token and a 1-point token. Let's say in a 2-player game, you only really get the 3-point token that's awarded to whoever finishes last call first. But at that point, you're going to count up all your points once that last round is finished. You're going to count up points from all of the drinks that you finished. You're also going to get points for any of the tip cards that you have not yet discarded. And then again, if you've been awarded any of those bonus tokens, you get those points as well. And then lastly, if you have any drinks that are left over here that have not been finished when someone else called last call, and you couldn't finish them by the end of your last turn, those each are worth -2 points each. So you really don't want to get caught with any extra drinks when you're done. Once all those points have been tabulated, whoever has the most points wins the game.
I really enjoyed the theme of this game. There's a few games out there about creating alcohol or wine or beer, so what have you. And this was a game about creating, mixology. And I thought that was so fun. And as a dry person myself, I still really enjoyed that. They did it really well. It was fun how it came about, how you were drafting these things. And I really liked it. And I really liked the theme and how they were able to implement that.
And plus, there was drinks like Shirley Temples and stuff in there too, which I thought was a lot of fun. The components overall of this game were really fun, right? You had these recessed boards, and you had these marbles that you were dropping in these recessed boards, and you had those rubbery dishes that were able to, so nothing rolled away. They did a good job of, considering the whole game is marble-based, making sure that no marbles rolled away, which I thought was cool. And it looked so cool too, right? All these different colored marbles on all over your table, kind of organized nicely. I thought that it looked really fun, and it was fun to play with too. It's a toy factor.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I am totally going to steal something that Ryan said when we were playing. Sorry, babe. But
it's okay. I give it freely, whatever it was.
So, the premium and the spilled marbles, right? One thing that's really neat about that is when it has it in the middle of the board and they fill up and they go back in, right. They don't have to create extra components to get that same variability coming. And not just that, but if you're working on some of the 8-point cards, some of the more, if both of you guys or a lot of people are working on those, the probability of those coming out more is higher because you're just going to be seeing more marbles and people want more marbles are going to be on the player board instead of in the bags while people are trying to work for that. So I just really liked those cards. I liked what it did to the gameplay, or those marbles. I liked what it did to the gameplay, and I liked the interaction that happened and choosing where you're going to put things.
Right.
I routinely would take the highest cup even though it had 3 spilled marbles in it, all the time.
But you won by a huge margin last time you played, so it was working for you.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Risk it for the
biscuit.
I was going to say drink, but that didn't rhyme. I like the tip cards in this game. There's a really nice decision point because you have all these tip cards that you're getting as you finish these drinks, and they're worth victory points. You want to hang on to those victory points, but there's also these really tempting special abilities that might help you finish off a drink, perhaps, or maybe make someone else spill their drink or whatever. So you have to think about that. Do I want the victory points? Do I want a big score at the end, or do I want to try to advance my goals now? And whether or not to spend those cards or not is a really fun little decision you have to make every time you get one.
I do want to mention, and it could just be our version of the game, but I would feel like I'd be doing you a disservice to not mention it, that on one of our boards, it was things were shifted when they were glued on. There was a little excess glue on the side. And the first time we played, I didn't even notice it. So that's how minor this is, but there is a little bit of dried glue on the board. And it's in a perfect circle. It's it was just shifted a little bit. Yeah.
You guys, this game was a ton of fun. It looks fantastic. It plays fantastically. It takes about an hour, but it just goes so. It just feels like it's going so quickly. You're just grabbing marbles, filling drinks, grabbing marbles, filling drinks, and there's a little bit of randomness in it. But it's the fact that you can kind of see what you're grabbing, and you know what that might be, what you're, and the extra ingredients you can store as well. So that way you never are like completely out of luck. You have those extra ingredients that you can, place. I thought that was a really good implementation, good mechanism as well. But man, this was just a ton of fun. I can't, every time I play it, I think about it for a while afterwards. That was so much fun. It was just a fun game. And then it's not a Euro. It's not it's just its own thing. And I really, really enjoyed the marble mechanism in this game.
Yeah, I'm just going to mimic everything that Ryan said. I did really enjoy this game. I liked every play of it. I think it's a great sign to a game where my enjoyment level is very similar to whether I win or lose, like during the whole game. Because the win and lose is the very end, right? But there's this whole game that happens before that happens. And the fact that I have a similar enjoyment, regardless of that outcome, I think is a huge positive sign of the game. So essentially, we're keeping this one, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
No, that's fine.
Make space.
You gotta get rid of one of your favorites.
No, we don't.
You have to get rid of Castles of Burgundy.
You wouldn't get rid of that.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of that either.
We'll just stack it on top. We'll find room.
Yeah, we'll find room.
This is the keeper, you guys.
Make way. Make way.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite drink is, and we'll try to come up with a dry version of that because that's who we are as people. Or if you have a dry version of your favorite drink, let us know so we can try it.
With alcohol in it. No. I thought you were doing a reversal thing.
No. Until then, make sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. You can also find us on Facebook. We're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.